Hello everyone, I'm Thomas Durham from Mango Digital. In today's video, you're going to learn the difference between WordPress.com and WordPress.org. And it's extremely important to know the difference because depending on the needs of your website, this is going to really impact it. So each one is going to fulfill different needs. So let's jump right into it so you know exactly which platform to use for your site. The first thing we need to note is DIY. What does this mean? Well, WordPress.com is for the do-it-yourself type of person. It's a really simple platform. You don't need to know much about web development. On the other hand, with WordPress.org, you definitely need to know what you're talking about. So on this side, it takes a little bit more of an advanced experience to be able to make sure the site runs properly, okay? That's what you need to know first. Next, the price point is a little different. So on the WordPress.com side, it's going to be about $15 to $30 per month. So that's every month you're paying that. And on the other hand, WordPress.org, it's going to be actually a little different. So you're going to have to pay for your hosting and your domain name. So there's two different charges that are happening here, whereas the WordPress.com section, you're just going to have like a package. So it's going to be like, do you want the business plan, the consumer plan, the regular plan, whatever the plan is. And it's going to include all of those features. So some plans, you get a domain with it that you can customize. With WordPress.org, you're actually going to have to know how websites are online to be able to kind of set it up. Because you need to set up the hosting, so your website needs to live on a server somewhere. So that's the hosting aspect to it. And you need a domain name. So you're gonna have to go with someone like GoDaddy to then register a domain. And it's two separate things. You're gonna have to figure out where these payments are going and all of that and hooking it up. But you are paying less. So on your WordPress.org site, you can get this set up for about $5 per month, all the way up to, I would say, $15. But you can tell already, definitely a lower cost, but you have to put in a little bit more work. The one thing you need to know, this WordPress.com site can get expensive over time, but there's some other benefits there that kind of weigh out those costs. It really, again, depends what you need. So on the WordPress.com side, you're getting support. If anything happens to your site, if it goes down, it gets hacked, there's spam, whatever it is, they have a dedicated support team that's going to help you. This is why I said it's for your do-it-yourself type of user, because if you really don't know sites that much, you can have WordPress do that work for you, fix your site, have it back up online. And WordPress.org, you're having, keep forgetting to change markers, let's do red on this side, you're having no support. Absolutely none. Okay? Unless you pay for it. And there's certain plugins that will have support, so you may not get support for your whole site, just one aspect of it. There's definitely support, you can buy, but generally you don't do that. Because on the WordPress.org site, you're a little more advanced, you probably know how to do the support of your website yourself. And that's one of the major differences here. I'd like to reiterate that again. The WordPress.com, it's all based for a do-it-yourself consumer. You don't have website experience. .org, you're a web developer and you know your way around some code. Let's move on to the next point. On WordPress.com, there's going to be some limitations. What do I mean by this? Well, you can tell that a site's been made with WordPress.com. It's simple as that. If you go on it, they all have the same general structure. Themes can be different, but if you're a web developer or if you just looked at like a lot of WordPress.com based sites, you'll catch on that it's WordPress.com. So there's limitations to design, there's limitations to features you can add, there's limitations to everything. It all has to come through WordPress.com. They have to kind of approve a plugin or an app, or they have to update it. It's all coming through them. You don't really have any control over customizations. You still can edit text and put in your images and change colors and stuff like that, but you're not going to be able to make major changes and customizations. One example I can think of is if you want to accept online bookings on your site. Well, as of today, you can't do that on WordPress.com. You can't accept online bookings, have the customer pick the date with which coach, and then pay all in one. So you're gonna have to wait until they release that type of feature. That brings us to WordPress.org. Over here, there's no limitations. You can really do anything you want with this site. And if you know code, they give you access to all of it. So you can really have a site that looks custom. It looks nothing like any other site on the internet. And what's great about WordPress.org is there's third-party vendors that make plugins. You don't have to wait for WordPress.com, WordPress.org, whatever. You don't have to wait on them to make an update or release a plugin or some sort of feature. These third-party vendors are making these plugins. Let's go back to that booking system. You can actually find a booking system within the plugin app store, I would say it is. It's pretty much an app store for plugins. And then you just download it and you're good to go, and it's installed on the site. And now you have to set it up though, remember. So there's no support. You're going to be doing the legwork. You're on your own. And I do want to mention one more thing though. I was saying you can buy some support on the WordPress.org site. For example, you have that plugin that you just bought and it's for bookings to accept purchases and all of that. You can actually buy support from that plugin vendor. And then they'll make sure everything is working with the plugin that you bought. So it's not going to cover your whole site. It'll cover that plugin. Getting to our final points here, we have speed is something to consider, right? So this is going to be really quick. WordPress.com. You can get up a site really, really fast in probably 2 hours, an hour if you wanted. It's not going to be a great site, but you can do it. Over on the WordPress.org site, that's not going to happen. It's slow, okay? So this is custom. You can do really anything you want with it. It's a blank canvas for you to paint on, and there's no automations or anything like that to make it quicker. That being said, it would probably take you maybe 6 hours to get a site up on WordPress.org. Again, it's not going to be a great site, but you could probably do it. And at the end of those 1 hour for the WordPress.com side and 6 hours for the WordPress.org site, you would have a maybe 3-page website, very basic, just info website, some graphics and text. Now, if you are talking about a fully developed, really nice site, from my own experience, WordPress.org is going to take about twice as long to do something because you are doing everything custom. There's page builders that you can purchase and make things quicker. Even that is just not that great. It's not made for speed. It's made for customization, because even the page builders that you can buy on WordPress.org, they're not made by the company that's created this platform. So there's things that don't always interchange properly between the plugin and then the platform. It's kind of like when you buy a PC and then there's all these different apps made by different creators and they don't always work how you intend them. Whereas over on the .com side, it's more like Apple, and Apple's making the software and the hardware and it all works well together. So that's kind of what I meant. The last point I'll make here is on the .com side, this is heavily used for blogs. The reason for this is because it's super simple. It's an easy setup, it's fairly cheap, and the platform, it's really designed for blogs. I mean, if you're gonna create a blog, do it on WordPress.com. Over on the .org side, this is for just about anything you can think of. It really does allow you to customize just about everything and anything. You could create a construction website all the way to an office cleaning website, to a therapy clinic website, whatever. It can be done on WordPress.org. So let's summarize everything we've learned really quick. On the WordPress.com side, it's for a do-it-yourself type of person. You want a simple website, you don't need anything fancy, and you want it done quickly. You don't know too much about web development, so you're going to want to use that support. If that's you, WordPress.com is your best bet. If you're doing a blog also, you might want to check this out. And on the WordPress.org side, this is for your developers, someone who's a little more seasoned with web design and development, and you are in no rush to kind of have the site live a week from now. You're going to take some time to develop this. If you're using WordPress.org, you're probably a more established company. You're really looking to kind of grow your online presence and build a great site. If you have any questions, let me know and I'll definitely get back to you. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.